Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivara Hari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivara Hari Yashoda Nandana Braja Jana Randana Yashoda Nandana Braja Jana Randana Jamuna Tira Vanamchari Jamuna Tira Vanamchari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Radha Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivara Hari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivara Hari Yashoda Nandana Braja Jana Randana Yashoda Nandana Braja Jana Randana Jamuna Tira Vanamchari Jamuna Tira Vanamchari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Radha Madhava Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Radha Madhava The tendency when playing cartels, if we're not attentive, is that we have to learn to follow and not just randomly or like, yeah, it happens to the best. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare,
Hare Rama, Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Rama
Rama
Rama,
Rama,
Hare
Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare Rama,
Rama, Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Jaya Radha Madhav Radha Madhav Radhe.
Jaya Radha, Madhava Radha, Madhava Radhe.
Jaya Radha Madhav Radha Madhav Radhe.
Jaya Radha, Madhava Radha, Madhava Radhe.
Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Prabhupada
Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada.
Prabhupada 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 Prabhupada
Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada.
Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Prabhupada
Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada,
Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Gaur Premanande Jai Vishupal Paramahamsa Pri Vrajagacharya Stotra Satya Sri Simad His Divine Grace Srila Bhai Charan Naravinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrind ki, Skon BBT, Founder Charyas, Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada ki, Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki, Samaveta Bhakta Vrind ki, Harinam Sankirtan ki, Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Dainitai Gaura Premanande, all glad is to be assembled devotees, all glad is to be assembled devotees, all glad is to be assembled devotees, all glad is to see Guru and to see Gauranga, all glad is to Srila Prabhupada ki. Om Ajnanatirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Jena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Juta Parakamalam Sri Gurun Vaisnavam Syam Sri Rupam Sagradatam Sahagana Raghunatan Vitam Tvam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Sri Sakan Vitam Syam He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hare Priye Vansakalpa Tarubhyasya Kripa Sindhu Vyayavasya Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaisnavebhyo Namo Namaha Narayanam Namaskritya
Narayanam Namaskritya
Naram Chaiva Narotamam
Naram Chaiva Narottamam
Devim Saraswatim Vyasam
Devim Saraswatim Vyasam
Tato Jayamudiraye.
Tato Jayamudhirayet.
Before reciting the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is our very means of conquest, let us first offer our respectful obeisances unto Narayana, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, unto Narayan Rishi, the supremmost human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and unto Srila Vyasadeva, the author. Nasta Praya Sabhadreshu
Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu
Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya
Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya
Bhagavati Tamasloke
Bhagavati Uttama Shloke
Bhaktir Bhaviti Naistiki.
Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtaki.
By regularly hearing the Srimad Bhagavatam and by rendering service unto the pure devotee, all that is troublesome within the heart becomes destroyed practically to nil, and loving devotional service unto the Supreme Lord, whose praise with transcendental songs becomes established as an irrevocable fact. Idam Bhagavatam Nama
Idam Bhagavata Nama
Puranam Brahma Samitam
Puranam Brahma Samhitam
Uttama Charitam
Uttama Shloka Charitam
Chakara Bhagavan Rishi
Chakara Bhagavan Rishi
Nishraya Sayalokasya
Nishreyasaya Lokasya
Dhanyam Swastayanam Mahat.
Dhanyam Swasayanam Mahat.
The Srimad Bhagavatam, known as the Grantaraj, the king of all Vedic literatures, is the literary incarnation of God. It is compiled by the incarnation of God as Srila Vyasadeva. It is meant for the ultimate good of all people. It is all successful, all blissful, and all perfect. Sri Krishna Chaitanya
Sri Krishna Chaitanya
Prabhu Nityananda
Prabhu Nityananda
Sri Advaita
Sri
Gadadhara
Advaita Gadadhara
Sri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta
Sri
Vrinda
Vasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Om Sarabhyaya Namaha.
Om Surabhyaya Namaha.
Om Sarabhyaya Namaha.
Om Surabhyaya Namaha.
Om Sarabhyaya Namaha.
Surabhyaya Namaha.
Mukam karoti vasanam pangum langayate girim yad kripa tamaham bande Sri Gurum Dinataranam yad kripa tamaham bande Sri Gurum Dinataranam. Hare Krishna. Welcome everyone to the morning program. So one thing we need to do as soon as possible, I mentioned this a few times to you especially, we should have similar to what they have in Patmera. You've been to Patmera? Not yet. Okay. A must place to visit at some point. Yeah. They have constantly in the Goshala the bhajan. This Om Sarabhyaya Namaha bhajan actually. Today has to be done. If we don't set a deadline, it doesn't happen. Right? Before sunset. Right? Yeah.
Because we are eternal, we sometimes get caught in time. It has to be done. And then
Yes, correct.
by when?
Yes. We should, sometimes become more awakened to the here and now. It's here and now. Yeah. And just check on Aravind Prabhu to make sure that every day they make cow cake, because they're saving some for organic, which is good.
No, I told you.
You told them?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because they should make every day.
Yeah, because see, our whole wall there is not plastered yet.
Right.
Yeah, because that's, our soil in Bengal is
Whenever we have.
right. Okay, that's good. So then you don't have to sell. Yeah.
But you check it whether it is done.
Yeah, actually. Right now. No. Talk about it here and now. Yes. We are continuing from Canto 1, Chapter 19. Soon to finish Canto 1, which is entitled The Appearance of Shukadeva Goswami, text 22. Is it?
23.
Oh, 23. Yes, correct. Yes, because we read text 23. Samagataha sarvata eva sarve veda yatha murti dharas tri priste nihatha namutra cha kashanartha rite paranugraham atma shilam samagata sarvata eva sarve veda yatha murti dharastri priste nehata namutra chakasyanartha Vite paranugraham atma shilam samagata sarvata eva sarve Veda yatha murti dharastri priste
Veda yatha murti dharastri prishte.
Nehata namutra chakaschanartha
Nehatanamutra chakasyanartha.
Vite paranugraham atmashilam
Vite paranugraham atmashilam.
Samagata sarvata eva sarve
Samata sarvateva sarve.
Veda yatha murti dharastri priste
Veda yatha murti dharastri prishte.
Nehata namutra chakaschanartha
Nehatanamutra chakasyanartha.
Vite paranugraham atmashilam
Vite paranugraham atmashilam.
Samagata sarvata eva sarve
Samagata sarvata eva sarve.
Veda yatha murti dharastri prishte
Veda yatha murtidharastri prishte.
Nehatanamuta chakashyanartha
Nehatanamutra chakasyanartha.
Rite paranugraham atmashilam
Rite paranugrahamatmashilam. Samagata sarvata eva sarve. Veda yatha murtidharastri prishte. Nehatanamutra chakasyanartha. Rite paranugrahamatmashilam.
One more.
Samagata sarvata eva sarve
Samagata sarvata eva sarve
Veda yatha murti dharastri prishte
Veda yatha murti dharastri priste
Nehatana mutra chakaschanartha
Nehatana mutra chakasyanartha
Te paranugrahamatmashilam
Vite paranugraham atmashilam Samagataha assembled Sarvataha from all directions Eva certainly Sarve all of you Vedaha supreme knowledge Yatha as Murti Dharaha personified Tripriste on the planet of Brahma which is situated above the three planetary systems namely the upper intermediate and lower worlds na not iha in this world atha thereafter na nor amutra in the other world cha also kuschana any other artha interest rite save and accept para others anugraham doing good too atmashilam own nature Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki. The king said, this is in reply to what the sages spoke in the last few verses. So the king here is replying. King means Parikshit Maharaj. The king said, O great sages, you have all very kindly assembled here, having come from all parts of the universe. You are all as good as supreme knowledge personified, who resides in the planet above the three worlds, Satyaloka. Consequently, you are naturally inclined to do good to others. And but for this, you have no interest either in this life or in the next. Kind of repeat after me. The king said, O great sages, you have all kindly assembled here,
all kindly assembled here,
having come from all parts of the universe.
come from all parts of the universe.
You are all as good
You are all as good
as supreme knowledge personified,
as supreme knowledge personified,
who resides in the planet
who resides in the planet
above the three worlds,
above the three worlds,
Satyaloka.
Satyaloka.
Consequently,
Consequently,
you are naturally inclined
naturally inclined
to do good to others,
to do good to others.
and but for this,
And but for this,
you have no interest
you have no interest
either in this life
either in this life
or in the next.
or in the next.
Purport. 6 kinds of opulences, namely wealth, strength, fame, beauty, knowledge, and renunciation, are all originally the different attributes pertaining to the absolute personality of Godhead. The living beings who are part and parcel entities of the Supreme Being have all these attributes partially up to the full strength of 78%. In the material world, these attributes, up to 78% of the Lord's attributes, are covered by the material energy, as the sun is covered by a cloud. The covered strength of the sun is very dim compared to the original glare, and similarly, the original color of the living beings with such attributes becomes almost extinct. There are 3 planetary systems, namely the lower worlds, the intermediate worlds, and the upper worlds. The human beings on earth are situated at the beginning of the intermediate worlds. But living beings like Brahma and his contemporaries live in the upper worlds, of which the topmost is Satyaloka. In Satyaloka, the inhabitants are fully cognizant of Vedic wisdom, and thus the mystic cloud of material energy is cleared. The mystic cloud of material energy is cleared. Therefore, they are known as the Vedas personified. Such persons, being fully aware of knowledge, both mundane and transcendental, have no interest in either the mundane or transcendental worlds. They are practically desireless devotees. In the mundane world, they have nothing to achieve, and in the transcendental world, they are full in themselves. Then why do they come to the mundane world? They descend to different planets as messiahs by the order of the Lord to deliver the fallen souls. On the earth, they come down and do good to the people of the world in different circumstances under different climatic influences. They have nothing to do in this world save and accept, reclaim the fallen souls rotting in material existence, deluded by material energy. Translation again, the king said, this is Parikshit Maharaj speaking, O great sages, you have all very kindly assembled here, having come from all parts of the universe. You are all as good as supreme knowledge personified, who resides in the planet above the three worlds, Satyaloka. Consequently, you are naturally inclined to do good to others. And but for this, you have no interest either in this life or in the next. So here Parikshit Maharaj is welcoming those who have assembled, namely saintly persons, brahmanas, munis, etc., as well as many saintly kings, rajarshis, not only from different parts of the of this planet, but from all parts of the universe. And Prabhupada elaborates in the purport how there is this universe in which we are living, of which we know very little about. Even this planet, we know we're constantly discovering so many things. Even we don't know so many things about our own body. Means we're very ignorant, but we think we know so many things. So, some nice points being made here how there are very elevated, very advanced living entities who live in these higher planets, especially in the most elevated, the highest planet, Satyaloka, Brahmaloka, where people are fully cognizant of the Vedas. Vedic knowledge is not just on this planet. Recitation, daily recitation of Srimad Bhagavatam is not only happening on this planet. There are great personalities, designated personalities. One of them being Shukadeva Goswami, who are reciting. One is reciting in Pitri Loka, cantos that we have not yet read.
Much bigger Bhagavad.
Yeah, we, people who come in contact with the Bhagavad Gita is like, wow, such a big book, Bhagavad Gita. And then when the Srimad Bhagavatam is introduced to them, wow, it's like, from 700 verses to 18,000 verses. And then we come to know that, well, beyond 18,000 verses, there are, I don't know, millions, I think.
Beginning with Brihat Bhagavata.
Beginning with?
Brihat Bhagavata.
Yeah. So it's like Vedic knowledge is spread and being recited and sung throughout this material world on different planets by very exalted personalities. That's what people do, those who are advanced. What to speak of in the spiritual world? We have no idea what's going on in the material world. We have even less of an idea of what is going on in the spiritual world. So one of the important points being made here, important message for all of us actually. Such great personalities they have a particular, very specific and unique purpose when they descend in the material world. They have no other business other than to actually um, introduce and spread the message and the knowledge which is contained actually in the Vedic literatures. This is what personalities, great personalities like our traveling transcendental spaceman Narada Muni is constantly doing with his Veena, chanting the glories of the Lord. And in the beginning of the creation, there's nice description of how um, he goes to different places, and when he sees an opportunity, um, he, in one shot, actually can deliver tens and thousands, as he did the sons of Daksha, not only once but twice. And Daksha, who is one of the Prajapatis, and his business, his dharma, his duty is to, um, you know, um, populate Prajapati, to populate the universe. And he became very upset, very extremely upset, when his sons all decided, sorry, were not entering householder life. Bye bye. So much so that he cursed. That's where the curse comes from. He cursed Narada Muni. You cannot stay in one place more than 3 days. Narada Muni was in ecstasy. Prabhupada one time commented, I have also been cursed by my disciples. Prabhupada mentioned.
Purport to that verse he writes.
To that verse, huh?
Yeah, to that verse.
I have been,
Cursed
I've
by
been,
the parents of my devotees.
I have been cursed by the parents of my disciples. Because Prabhupada, as we know, until the point that he was not able to travel due to illness, traveled extensively at such an advanced stage, like 12 times around the globe. I mean, yeah. First time he traveled was on a ship, and then he changed gear. Oh, right. So this is the business, primary business of such exalted personalities. Their main concern is to deliver, um, to reclaim the fallen souls rotting in the material world, simply uh, continuously suffering due to being covered. Also, it mentions a nice example about how very often when there's too much of cloud, especially in the rainy season, we just don't even see the sun. We know it's daylight because we can see, but even though we don't see the sun. So the jiva, mama evangsho jiva loke, jiva bhuta sanatana, we are that eternal spark, having the very first line of the purport Prabhupada is describing the 6 wonderful qualities of the Lord, which are the same qualities that all of us actually have, and which can be, Prabhupada repeats twice, just to remind us, not beyond 78%. We cannot develop these qualities beyond 78%, and it is only Lord Brahma, or personalities who are close to the level of Lord Brahma, who they are having that position, they are given that position of ruling, of creating, of being a secondary creator, when means all of us have an opportunity to become Lord Brahma. Just like we all have opportunity to become maybe a temple president or prime minister of a country. huh? Or some kind of exalted position like that. So um, it is actually described that the soul, this will give us a little understanding of how powerful is the material energy. The soul is more brilliant than a million suns. I mean, I forget the exact comparison, but brighter. The soul is extremely powerful, but most of us don't even know we have a soul in material world. And even when we become devotees, you know, the heavy influence of material energy is so strong that it is preventing or keeping the natural qualities of the soul actually to become manifest. um, but these are the just like Satchit Ananda, uh, Ishvara Paramakrishna Satchit Ananda Vigraha. The Lord is described uh, also eternal, eternally full of knowledge, eternally full of bliss, transcendental happiness, full satisfaction. And that is what awaits those who actually gradually become more and more awakened. Uh, Jeev Jago, awakened to Krishna consciousness. One becomes, Prabhupada explains, these these must be the symptoms that uh, are developed amongst those who actually practice Krishna consciousness. They must become more and more awakened. They must become more and more peaceful. They must become more and more satisfied. So when devotees approach uh, other devotees and say something, "Yeah, I'm not happy," or whatever, it means that there's something not right in our practice of devotional service. Because by nature, even someone who comes to the mode of goodness, is it, what is it? One of the first symptoms, someone who comes in the mode of goodness?
Brahmabhut Prasannatma.
Yeah, Brahmabhuta Prasanatma, Nasochati Nakanchati. And same thing actually, Evam Prasanna Manaso, Bhagavat Bhakti Yogataha. When it's only when we come and remain, well, sometimes we may come, but we generally don't remain. Only when one comes and remains in the mode of goodness, then he can actually nicely take up the practice of devotional service and actually um, become more and more in line or in tune with what is being described here. So naturally, Parikshit Maharaj, he is um, understanding himself to be very blessed by the presence of such exalted personalities. I mean, Narada Muni, Srila Vyasadeva, and other great personalities were present in this assembly. And this will be um, explained actually, I'm sure, in the next few verses, because we're already at 24. And at some particular point, because that will be the question, or that is the question of Parikshit Maharaj. What is the best way that I can prepare myself, because I have to leave my body in just 7 days? And then, of course, as we know, Shukadeva Goswami will be making his transcendental appearance. So Prabhupada and all of our acharyas, and yes, in all of the different purports, in all of the different songs that are composed by such exalted personalities, are constantly reminding us our only business in the material world is simply to work towards complete disentanglement and to strive for a self-realization. And in the same way that this is the only reason why different incarnations of the Lord appear in the material world, that is the same um, mission actually for all uh, fortunate living entities who come in contact and who take up actually the mission of Krishna consciousness. That needs to remain uh, in the forefront uh, of all of us who are practicing Krishna consciousness, especially when in the world there is such. This is the mood and the mentality. This is the mood and the mentality of such great personalities, of all of our acharyas. That was the mood and mentality of Srila Prabhupada, isn't it? We hear any of his classes, uh, and Srila Prabhupada was in that uh, mood and mentality, how to deliver the fallen souls. That is described. Titikshava Karunika, Sridham Sarvadehinam. These great personalities are great personalities because they have developed these qualities of great tolerance, of great compassion, and being always uh, the well wishers of the misguided, unfortunate, conditioned souls. I will read the text again. The king said, O great sages, you have all very kindly assembled here, having come from all parts of the universe. You are all as good as supreme knowledge personified, who resides in the planet above the three worlds, Satyaloka. Consequently, you are naturally inclined to do good to others, and but for this, you have no interest either in this life or in the next. One may say, why we have interest in the next life, but we don't have any personal ambition. We and Prabhupada explained in the purport, actually, people in the spiritual world, they're full, they're complete, they're fully satisfied. So it's like
Yes, 5,000 years back, the communication was so good that within short period of time, the whole universe knew
yes,
what's happening.
yes. What happened to our communication?
Without wrong information from internet.
Right.
How come?
No fake news. Yes.
I mean, the personalities were so developed, and the whole basically. I mean, we can see that aeroplanes not only the stages they came from different, but also within the material world, there had been like interplanetarily, as
Yes.
Prabhupada mentioned
Yes.
in different verses. Communication was there. Planes were there. Like I was mentioning in another text, it mentioned how the Chitrarath was going and then his plane came down and then again he flew from there after taking bath in Saraswati.
No mic for 60,000 feet.
Right, that's what another thing I was saying, that how this Bhagavatam was spoken and there was like huge assembly. So the question is that how come we got very fast decline? Decline. we are
Welcome to
rotting.
welcome to Kali Yuga.
The decline was very, very fast.
Yeah, which means that actually we cannot imagine how it will be,
Right.
isn't it? If it is so badly and so quickly happening, and even in the last, for example, 50 years or less, so much a very rapid decline as well. Then yeah, it's all preparing the grounds for Kali Yuga to really happen at a scale that is like inconceivable for all of us, and some glimpses of it we get in the Bhagavatam, isn't it? That people will have nothing to eat; they will be eating their own children. Some of this is happening now.
As of now, we think that this is the epitome of human civilization.
I mean,
Hmm.
we feel that we are
That's what
progressing.
the masses think. This is the top.
Yeah,
This is
we
the
are
epitome of
progressing. We are
human
doing. We had been in Iron Age, and we were like,
Now we have AI.
yeah,
Yeah, we have transcended the Iron Age. This is the wonderful, Krishna's wonderful Maya, isn't it? People are convinced that what we're doing, they wouldn't be doing it otherwise.
more than convinced. Yeah.
That we're just like the flies, the flies, they just rush in the fire. They think that, oh, it's so attractive. And they just totally annihilate it within a second. Modern day civilization is just like that. We're just rushing in the fire of total ignorance, because not understanding, not knowing the consequences of all of the uh, sinful activities. I mean, most people are totally oblivious. They don't even understand. They don't even know. Uh, they don't believe in sinful activities. Modern philosophy is, uh, I mean, they have all kinds of phrases and expressions that make them feel okay, they can do anything. But it's sheer ignorance. And it's most unfortunate because it simply means that, yeah, what Kali Yuga is meant to do is just put those living entities who are uh, disobedient and what is it? Um, to create extremely hellish conditions for all. So it's part of that's what Kali Yuga is all about. And uh, we are living now in this very short, what is it, window of opportunity with the advent of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And that we need to remind ourselves also that it's something very special and very unique, which will not be here for a long time. This mercy that Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has made available, is making available, uh, unseen before, unprecedented before the advent of Lord Chaitanya, is just, some special, very, very special mercy um, that is there for the otherwise totally, um, what is it, hopeless living beings in Kali Yuga. So we need to hear such kind of purports, which are throughout the Bhagavatam, um, to keep us on track of what individually, in terms of our own personal lives, uh, what we should be doing, and also in terms of how to remedy isn't it? How to remedy the situation in the world today. And of course, Prabhupada and all of the previous acharyas, they know what the best the best remedy is to uh, distribute this knowledge and get more and more people uh, cultivating this knowledge and that is
I'm thinking that here is the last word of this verse is Atmashilam,
yes,
means their own nature.
yes,
And the sages have such a nature, then they are inclined to follow the order of the Lord and inclined, just natural for them
mm,
to go wherever, whatever situations they are sent. So Prabhupada have a nature. He would die if he couldn't come to this very difficult situation. So that was a conversation between that elderly lady, Hindu lady, and she told, "Don't go because you will die." But actual Prabhupada explained, "I would die if I have to stay
mm,
because my nature to follow my Shri Prabhupada, my Guru Maharaj order."
yes,
So when we practice Bhakti Yoga, we have to attain that nature, and then we are devotees. Before that,
trying,
we want to become devotees, but not not necessarily too much.
right,
It's too
right,
much service, it's too much anxiety. But attaining that nature, that's Prabhupada speaks here. That nature will revealed by this purification act that we get from Srila Prabhupada. Can you speak about that process when someone feels I have to go, I have to help, also maybe it's impossible, mission impossible, but I just,
yes. In the early days, especially, uh, mainly because of Prabhupada's physical presence. I mean, everyone was. I think it's not an understatement or not not an exaggeration. Everyone was electrified. Everyone was plugged in, you know, by Prabhupada's presence. And there's this example of the first Krishna book. Prabhupada's whole one of very important ways that Prabhupada, we touched on this briefly here. He just wanted that people connect with Krishna, come in contact with this knowledge, isn't it? And so he was able to through Nippon, this printing press in Tokyo, uh, to get a good deal. Actually, Prabhupada was he was just expert in doing business. I think he just gave us some advancement of $2,000, and he got an order of like I don't know. So all the books, the Krishna book, very important publication that was sponsored. Actually, there's a whole story on that also by George Harrison, uh, who sponsored. I think at that time was maybe 25,000, whatever. So anyways, when those books arrived, there was I mean, it was something very exciting because there were no books at that time. So those books arrived, and in those days, the devotees actually were going to different concerts where there were hundreds and thousands of young people. You know, the hippie days, and they had big concerts, and it was full of drugs, and people were just like so the devotees, many of whom were coming from that culture, knew that this is the place where we can distribute books. So they had taken all the books and they distributed. They were so ecstatic, so ecstatic, and they understood that this will be pleasing, so much pleasing to Srila Prabhupada. His books will be distributed, and so they went to the concert, distributed all the books, and then they came back to the temple, realizing that they had no copies of the book to read. They had not even looked at the book, because they were in that kind of like fever of that very elevated consciousness of just wanting to please their spiritual master, and so devotees. There's so many examples when one is in that elevated consciousness, one just goes on and continues, and it's like what is it? Contagious, you know. It's like when somebody has smallpox. If you get close to him, you'll get smallpox. If somebody has a contagious disease, you have to keep your distance. So the devotees in those days were very much in that highly motivated level of consciousness, and so this is what actually all of us should be striving to attain and to maintain. I mean, of course, that's beyond the mode of goodness as well. So yes, that becomes, as you nicely point out here, atmashilam, our own nature. So our own nature that progressively is meant to become manifest, as it is nicely described by Srila Rupa Goswami. That's, the level of Raganuga Bhakti, spontaneous uh, practice, and spontaneously we become inspired. Krishna, when he sees the living entity uh, who is situated in the mode of goodness, engaged in activities of bhakti, devotional service, Krishna begins to reciprocate. That's the whole meaning of that verse. Ivam prasana manaso bhagavat bhakti jogataha bhagavat tattva vijnanam mukta sangasya jayate. That the Lord reciprocates and he inspires more and more his surrendered devotees to do all kinds of activities, ultimately for the welfare of the general population. So yes, all of us are aiming to attain that level of. It's also atmagyan, knowledge of the soul, atmashilam, developing our own natural constitutional position of being eager, being very eager to serve. Prabhupada explains, when we chant the holy name, we're asking the Lord, please engage me in your service. And when the temple commander comes along and tells us, Prabhu, can you do this service? I'm busy. Whatever, people find different excuses, not really understanding that, yes, service. And therefore, Prabhupada nicely equates, he equates, this is very important, he equates there's three levels, two main levels. There's Brahmananda. What is the meaning of Brahmananda?
Getting
Yeah, being fully happy or satisfied that we are not this body, that we're different from this body. But we know from, the teachings of our Goswamis, in particular Srila Rupa Goswami, beyond Brahmananda is Premananda. And how does Prabhupada translate or equate Premananda? To Sevananda.
service.
To Sevananda, yeah. So we cannot be in Premananda unless we are doing seva, unless we are very much absorbed in uh, in devotional service. Uh, and there are so many different ways, beginning with Shravanam, Kirtanam, etc., Atmanivedanam. So this was a term in the early days in the Western world, um, the slang term, which is maybe less known. I guess it is known to some extent. Devotees were what we call fired up. They were like put on fire, fired up. They were very, uh, very ecstatic to engage, especially, um, well, not only in book distribution, they would happily go to some other place to just start some preaching center, and they would do all kinds of things, actually. Yeah. So yes, we need to. This is a symptom. This is a symptom of our advancement when we are becoming more natural, more spontaneous in executing so many different activities of devotional service, understanding all activities that are meant to push forward this mission of Krishna consciousness is um, is to be taken up enthusiastically.
And there is another very interesting expression by Srila Prabhupada when this person came down to do the people in different circumstances under different climatic influences.
Ah,
So can you explain what does it mean, climatic influence? I don't think he was thinking that in India there are different climates. So, but I think there are different means to have different type of influences when people are.
you see,
Can you?
well, you're from Ukraine, eh? I mean, you're from
Yeah,
Hungary.
Hungary, but it's close to Ukraine.
No, but I'm saying that like I'm from Canada, so devotees. When I was a new devotee, I remember it took me a while to shave up uh, because I had some kind of obligation. But when I finally shaved up, it was in the winter time. And so devotees, in the West, even in the wintertime, they go out on Harinam. And in those early days, we would go out on Harinam for hours and hours in the cold, you know. And I remember I was just waiting for the day because it means we had, just like you had this morning, you put on the toque because it's very cold. So devotees, in the West, devotees, due to climatic condition, because it's very cold, still they execute devotional service and they have to adapt. They play mridanga with gloves. They'll wear a toque like that, because it's like minus 20 below zero. They'll wear two toques or three. um, so regardless of, regardless of the material conditions, some of them very challenging. I mean, devotees in our temple, in I was not part of that temple, but in the temple in Montreal, which was they got this big building. In the winter time, devotees had no money. They could not arrange for hot water, but they knew that we have to take bath every day. They were taking a shower in not just what we call cold water, but in ice water. There's a big difference between cold water and ice water. And unless you go to Canada, you won't understand what is that difference. Yeah. So devotees, it means that Krishna consciousness can be practiced in all kinds of social and climatic conditions. And of course devotees adjust accordingly, but it's like devotees would uh, would would spend hours and hours not only in performing Harinam, but in distributing books, and they would come back and
I mean, also this is one of the angle how we can get these different climatic influences. But the other one is that Srila Prabhupada introduced the book distribution and Harinam Sankirtan, and it was like fishing for for persons who could be,
he's from the West. Oh, it's
yeah,
okay. Fishing.
yeah. So they could be practicing devotees. So they could join to the temple. They could join to the army of Sri Chaitanya
Ah,
Mahaprabhu. And also he introduced the Food for Life to give prashadam for mass of people who will not become devotees,
right.
but they start in, by this way, and all their life they take the prashadam. Maybe next life they become devotees,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
between there is a mass of people who have to get some kind of approach which help them to elevate some Krishna consciousness. That's Varnashram system to spread.
Yes, yes. Yes. Devotees were totally in that consciousness that, whenever there's an opportunity to do something, whatever it may be, I mean, if you can give a book or at least prasadam, somehow connect, begin their journey actually of getting out of the material world. And the devotees were, in the early days, very conscious of the need to, to make what we call make devotees, to bring people, some of them who will actually, okay, I'm here for the rest of my life, Yeah.
Maharaj, seems Prabhupada had this so much infused within himself that he passed it on to his disciples. You can see that even in your grace, your holiness, you're serving Prabhupada so nicely many years since you were here. It reminded me that we talked and discussed a lot about what Prabhupada experienced once he got on the ship, but how much Prabhupada was eager to go to America and preach is that earlier the immigration systems were not very well established
Even now, but
even
what to
now.
speak of then?
Exactly. So apart from getting a visa, before that, Prabhupada needed a clearance from the Indian government, immigration check not required, and
T form, huh?
yeah,
Or
yeah,
whatever.
something like that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So he was going to that official's office every day. I think it was in Mumbai. You get on a train, get off, and walk few kilometers, sit outside his office. He was not very keen on giving in permission. So he kept on doing that for 30 days
Right.
until after he was even willing to meet Prabhupada. But he did not. He's like, I'm going to go every day. I'm going to sit there
Yeah.
until he gives me that.
That's called determination. Correct. Yes, yes. Yes. I mean, yeah, Prabhupada is very, because of his very intense mm, level of conviction and determination, uh, he, Krishna blessed him fully to actually uh, to even be able, at that time, as you rightly mentioned, it was not at all easy to go out of India. Not at all easy. But Prabhupada, under, taking, we could say, the highest risk, because he had no support, he had no one. And he was able to do that because he was fully surrendered. So that's the whole idea, that the more we become surrendered, then we can take up all kinds of services and risks as well that are there.
Actually, he forced Krishna to save him.
He
Like,
forced Krishna to save
yeah,
him.
someone is jumping into the mid of the difficulties and calamities, and some powerful bodyguard have to go and run and protect.
Yeah,
Because
right.
they don't mind to protect
Yeah.
themselves.
Right, well, so Krishna saved him on the Jaladuta. Yeah. Appeared to him in the Jaladuta, correct.
Stay in America because Prabhupada is there.
Huh?
Because one father of some Russian devotee, he was reading about Prabhupada, and he realized that the day Prabhupada arrived in Boston Harbor, he was on a submarine off the coast of America, just waiting for instructions to launch a nuclear missile. This was the peak of Cuban crisis.
Oh,
And then they were almost certain that it's going to happen, and they were called off.
okay.
This is him saying, like he was reading when the day when Prabhupada arrived, hey, I was just there ready to launch a nuclear missile.
Right. Yeah. The Prabhupada arrived at the right time. Prabhupada arrived at the right time, kind of. Yeah. Yes. Jai Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki. Jai Sri Prabhupada ki. Gaur Premanandi.